أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله العظيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. In the verse that I recited before you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O believers, fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed upon those before you, so that you may attain piety. The word fasting or fast or sawm in Arabic literally means to refrain from something, and in the istilah and terminology of Sharia, it means to refrain from eating, drinking, and conjugal relationships from dawn until dusk. Thus, in this context, even to do iftar and to come out of the state of fasting 1 minute prior to dusk, prior to basically the Maghrib time, will invalidate the fast. Another thing mentioned in this verse is that fasting has been prescribed upon those before you. In other words, upon the nations before us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has specifically mentioned that fasting has been prescribed upon them as well. This has been mentioned by Allah Azza wa Jal so as to encourage us that although that this fast, this command of fast is physically very difficult, refraining from food and drink from dawn to dusk and conjugal relations as well. Although this may be difficult, however, many nations, many people before you, the nations prior to yourselves, have upheld this command of fasting. And alladhina min qablikum is general, that all of the nations before the nation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the nations from Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam until the last Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam upheld the command of fasting. Although there may be some difference in terms of the number of fasts or the size of the fast in terms of time, nevertheless, all the nations prior to us upheld the command of fasting in one way or another. And the most important thing highlighted in this ayat al-Karima is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that this has been prescribed for you so that you may attain piety, that you may attain righteousness. And through fasting, fasting gives us the ideal model in order for ourselves to make restrain our nafs, ourself from its demands, to make a habit of restraining the nafs from its demands. And this is the basis upon which taqwa is laid, upon which becoming God conscious and becoming pious and spiritually wholesome is placed upon. That when our our desires are come under our control, when we attain control of our nafs, then it is easy to make it inclined towards goodness and towards piety. And along with this, also remember that it is extremely important that, along with refraining from food and drink and from dawn to dusk, merely doing so is not fasting in the spiritual nature. Along with staying away from food and drink and conjugal relationships, we need to also refrain our restrain our eyes, ears, and tongue from sinning, from engaging in anything, uh, thus restraining all our limbs from head to toe, from refraining we need to restrain them from engaging in anything, any act that is a source of Allah's displeasure. Likewise, fasting coupled with an earnest and sincere effort to stay away from sin will, insha'Allah al-Aziz, um, generate taqwa in the heart of a person, which is the which is the fundamental which is the fundamental quality that is needed in order to attain success in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us true taqwa, true love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, true piety and God consciousness, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes pleased with us and that we become the beloved of Allah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب